Okay, I'm not too sure if this is going to work or not. This is about my 8th attempt to go on here. For some reason, my cameras are conflicting, but whatever, I'm going to go. Okay, so this is the introduction. I'm going to have a lot of fun with these two decks in the future. In the very near future here, I'm going to be filming my Love, Sex, and Romance series. So these are two decks that I have been working on the past few months here. The Divine Masculine Tarot deck from the Infinity group here, me and my guides, and then the Divine Feminine, right? So these are the two decks. I'm going to walk through here the whole deck. This may be a while. I'm going to try and keep it short. So that's the backs of the cards, just in case you're wondering. Now we're going to start with the Journey of the Fool. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep, I don't know if I have enough room here to keep the Divine Masculine and Feminine in view, just so we know which side we're dealing with here. Okay, so the Fool card on the masculine side is the 0. That's the Fool card. He's at the beginning of his journey. Now for the feminine card, with the tones, you'll notice the male tones are darker and more harsh, and the female tones are lighter and softer edged. So that was all deliberate, right? So yeah, so we have her on a quest with the dog here kind of going, are we going or what? And she's looking at the mountains to new adventures and whatnot. Same thing with the male here. Only he's in a more of a confident mode. The woman here is more pensive. That's what I wanted to, because I didn't want to make two exactly the same, even though some of the cards are kind of just masculine and feminized, like this one. I didn't want to make them exactly the same. I wanted them to have different energy. And here the masculine is very confident going forward. He's packed and ready to go. So is she packed. But the dog's sitting because she may be unsure of the journey that follows her. So that's the Fool's Journey, first card. So on the masculine side, the Magician. This is the Magician, right? He's the trickster. He plays illusions upon those that care to watch. So I made him into a trickster on the masculine side because they can be, magicians can be tricky energies. They can fool you with white lies or darker lies or whatnot. So I wanted him to be kind of light and airy, but nonetheless shifty. On the feminine side, the Magician, we have, she's got her top hat and very much in a pose of kind of defense. The sense here is this Magician is ready to lure people into his arena. And here, this Magician, she is very sturdy in herself and her worth. So she's going outward to produce things in a different kind of way. This guy could possibly take advantage of things. This one here, she's very, I don't want to say guarded is the wrong word, but she's very self-secure. Okay. So for the masculine, for the High Priestess, that's the card there. This is someone who can make water out of wine, right? We use the elements. And in here, I kind of simplified it, saying, knowledge and earthly things to create a new way forward, right? Kind of like a witchery, but I didn't want to emphasize that too much, but I did, because the sense is that we need to learn from our intellectual knowledge and then also take action in ways on the physical planet. We can't just be all up in the 5D. So on the feminine side, the High Priestess, that's her there. And on the feminine side, she's a little more refined, a little more futuristic. This is kind of old school, right? Witchery. This is more evolved and simplified in the way of gifts. The High Priestess on the feminine deck, she has a lot of intuitive gifts, and the crystal ball symbolizes the intuition and how we highlight the third eye. Like, notice how she's kind of veiled here by sight, but she doesn't even need it because she can see without her visual eyes. So there's a lot more depth here to the high priestess on this side. So the masculine Empress, there she is, a soft, caring, loving energy. Of course, the baby bump, right? And she just looks lush with everything that she has, the dress that she's wearing, the surroundings. I visualize her in a lavish home, but she's taking picture here for, like the rich kind of take pictures a lot more often than the poor. So the two high priestess on top of that is the Empress. That's the Empress from the feminine deck. She's a lot more compassionate, a lot more soft and centered, and a lot more private. This one's more outgoing and able to mingle. This one is very much an introvert. Doesn't mean she's not social, but she's a lot more quiet and into herself. Now the Emperor on the masculine side, I wanted to depict him as a father figure. We also have some of the zodiac signs filtered throughout. I didn't put any here. I was going to put planetary signs, but I had to get the deck done, so I didn't do it. Had a time limit here. So the Emperor here is a great father figure. Not only that, he's wearing a suit. He can clean himself up and go to work when he needs to do so. And he makes a great role model for the son. Now on the feminine side, the Emperor is more of a, I don't want to say negative energy, but you notice how you have the white background here and the dark background here is more of a commanding presence. So you might be in a little bit of fear here of him because when he sits in this throne, people will listen. So he has more of a darker energy, and this one has more of a light, family-oriented energy. So that's the difference between the masculine and feminine. So for the masculine, the high priest, I made him into a wizard. With the Taurus energy there. Again, emphasizing on the masculine side with the ball and the beard, having the wisdom. Maybe males takes a lot longer to kick that in at the age, right? So with all that age comes that wisdom. So that's the wise counsel. On the feminine side, I made the high priest into a sort of a magician type. He is knowledgeable and he is also working in the physical to help him with all the knowledge that he gains on an intuitive level. He's willing to go outward and spread that magic in the 3D. So there we are, 5. Okay, 6, the Lovers on the masculine side. That's it. Gentle, caring, love, and devotion. I wanted this card to be the major. It is real depth, and also the trees, right? Meaning that we have roots here between the couple. There's a shadow of trees and being rooted and whatnot. So I wanted to accentuate that as being a rooted, grounded relationship where there's loving, caring, intimacy. On the feminine side, we're still going with that same energy. It's more of a gentle, pure love, right? So it's sweet and it's tender and it's almost fantasy-like, right? So he's super gentle, super considerate, super compassionate toward her, and the same towards him. So I just accentuated that to another level on the feminine side. So on the masculine, the Chariot. This is the Chariot, a nice strong car. I had a different car in a Speedway and I changed it. This is the revised edition here. I felt like this was more just masculine. It just screamed masculine to me. Like, here I am and I'm ready to go and da da da. So this is also with Cancer energy attached to it, nonetheless. And the sun behind it, right? Because the sun is the masculine, the moon's feminine. So it's all intermingled. Okay, on the 6th, the Chariot for the feminine is the fun car. It's still yellow. It still has to do with their self-esteem, moving forward happily. And, here it could be your friend, it could be your lover, whatever. We're just going freewheeling and we're moving quickly into our future. So that's the feminine. Again, the colors here sharper and a lot duller here. It's just more muted, more soft. So after the Chariot comes the Strength card. thought this was cute. Couldn't resist it. I knew it was my strength right away. So that's just the masculine coming into his energy where he just really does not put up with anything that doesn't do him any good. Coming from your inner strength, right? And showing it outward. So the feminine card, here we have, what do you call her? Little Red Riding Hood. And she's naive, right? So she goes through the forest and whatnot. But we have the white wolf, and to me, the white wolf is really the spiritual strength she may carry, even though she may have, what do you call that? An air of naivety about her. She has a great spiritual strength. So men will, exhibit the strength outwardly like a lion. You know it's there. But the woman, it's more almost like a spiritual surrounding her that you don't realize this and till you spend some time with her, how much strength there is. And I really, I saw this wolf, and the white reminds me of white light, guided, intuitive abilities, and it also is basically the spiritual backing that she may have coming from her compassion. That will give her more strength. Okay, so the Hermit card is next. So on the masculine side, this is a man being pensive. He's kind of looking out the window, wondering where he's headed and what he's going to do. So, figuring out his life. That's pretty simple. And on the feminine side, we have the lantern as traditional, but she's going through a field of lavender, and lavender is really healing and it's soothing and it's also relaxing, right? So there's just two different vibes here, right? Intense, like there's something on his mind he's trying to clear up, and then here it's more flowing into an energy of release, right? Okay, the wheel is next. So on the masculine side, the Wheel of Fortune I made into a Ferris wheel. um, just vibrant colors. I just thought it was cool and groovy. On the feminine side, I made her the head of the ship, and this is the wheel. So she's taking charge here. Here, we don't have so much control in the masculine side of where our life goes, because we get in that cage, that's it, we're going up. We can't back out. Here, we are very much in charge of things. So that's the way I wanted to make the difference between the masculine and the feminine. And I wanted the feminine to have the energy here of having, being in charge, of taking charge, and being in control somewhat, even though, and the reason that they may be in control or out of control, depending on the cards, is because they are either in or out of their instinct. Okay, so that's that. Okay, next one is Justice. The masculine side here. Pretty straightforward. Legal issues, balancing things out. The scales are pretty balanced here, having to do with the Libra energy. Someone looking at legal papers. So this could, indicate legal issues. With men, I think they tend to come across this a little bit more in the life. I could be wrong there. But, deeds with houses, marriages, divorces, this kind of thing, it all wraps up in there. On the feminine side, I just made the statue. It's the same, the balance, but the sword here is very highly depicted. So there's a lot of truth that may come forward here. Here, we're researching. Here, there's a truth that we're looking at. So it's a little different energy. Then we have the Hangman, the masculine side, simply done. He's taking a time out. He's happy about it because this is kind of a realization of something that we may not have understood before. On the feminine side, we got the same thing. These were kind of mirrored ones. She's a little softer, not as happy, but nonetheless looking at things. She's raising her glasses, kind of like, oh, I'm realizing, I'm seeing. So it's both basically the same energy there. Then 13 on the masculine side, the Death card, pretty basic, the skull and whatnot. An end, kind of a harsh energy. So it may be an end that we don't want, but it's there nonetheless. On the feminine side, we have it depicted within her. So it's a little bit of it's the same, but different, feminized. That's it. Okay, so Temperance card. On the masculine side, the Temperance, is speaking to a cool down. Like when I pulled this card, I'm like, yeah, that's my temperance. Because for men, they get so steamed and so jived about things, they need a cooler, either a cold shower because they're passionate about things on the good side, or we seriously need a cool down because we're too fired up in the wrong ways. So I just thought I'd kind of play with that energy a little bit differently. And on the feminine side, I made her an angel of peace kind of thing. It's sort of like all these waves here creating like her wings, right? But she is calm in and amongst the chaos of the water of the emotion. So it's kind of showing an emotional peace that she creates no matter what turbulence maybe around her. So next is the 15, which is the devil card. It's hard to see here with the light. I'll show you. It's basically kind of a guy holding a skull, looking all fierce. Okay, that's all great. And then the feminine side, I made it so that she's kind of like a seductress. Here, he's like he could be a masculine figure coming in here, knowing, kind of got those eyes like, watch out, because I'm gonna get you. And then this one's kind of the same in that feminized way. This one here, she's the temptress, right? So I kind of want to use that with more of my love and sex readings. And they'll be coming up here, so it'll be interesting because this is the temptress. This is someone who's really going to use their passion to gain something from a partner here, and it may not be out of love, right? So on top of the devil card here, we have the tower, and in the masculine, this tower is kind of immaculate. It's got like moss growing and everything. Now, if we're going on the sex side of things, it could mean that, right? We're towering for someone, we're juiced for someone, we're primed and ready. That's the masculine, and it's in the dark. So it basically symbolizes what do I want to say, like misty atmosphere, if you will, like sort of like misty, not in a bad way. Like I'm like mystical. I'm attracted to someone and it's very magical and wonderful. That's what I'm yeah, that's what I wanted to intend from there. I wanted the one of the towers to be immaculate. Now for the feminine, we have the Eiffel, right? And it's all like broken down. So this is kind of like shattered hopes and dreams. We may have had a bit of a fantasy in a relationship or in a partner or in something or someone, and it just got shattered. And then, of course, Paris being the forefront for all of romance, love and romance. I stuck that in there. Found that. That's awesome. Okay. Tower, then the star. And in the masculine deck, this is really about reaching for the stars. Nothing's out of reach, and just the fact that that hand is trying to reach for that star is saying that there is hope that we will gain better things on the other end, right? Because the tower is behind us. So on the feminine side, I made it the same, but I brought a couple in. I made this masculine because of a realization. I wanted him to have the masculine side to have the realization that I can attain my dreams. On the feminine side, I feel like I don't know if they're more sociable, but I feel like the feminine's relationships are more of a paramount to the feminine side. So I made that part of the dream time here. Here, it's personal power. Here, it's power within a relationship. Power or dreams or like fantasies, that wishes that we want to kind of upon a star. So that's the difference there. And then we have the moon. There's the masculine moon, of course, right? Illusions. We cannot see the face. We don't know if he's coming or going, this kind of thing, attached to the Pisces energy. And on the feminine side, basically, these are mirror cards. Here we have a little bit of seduction and um, how do you say that? Sensuousness, right? She's kind of in her own power. So this moon can be used when we're talking about seduction as well. When we have this and the devil card, that amps that up. Here, I don't see the masculine here so much in a mode of attracting, where this is more of an attraction level. Like she's doing that one because she feels free to be herself, but two, because she may be trying to impress. This one here is not trying to impress. They're trying to find out, they're trying to seek that moon to see what's on the other side, you know. So this is where we're seeking answers to confusions. And here we're kind of less worried about seeking answers and more worried about alluring in that way. Okay. On the masculine side, we have the sun. And this, I put children here for the masculine because um, one, it brings about that character of being childlike and playful and youthful and vibrant. That's what I wanted for the masculine, because there are modes. And when I was channeling energy, they're like, yes, the masculine does indulge. You know, we may have, you know, some masculines that are in heavy office business type. We got to be on all the time. And they do have this fun and playful side. And that really depicts that. It can also mean your children or your girlfriend's children or whatnot, can mean family, but for the most part, it's fun loving energy and whatnot. For the feminine, I put the sunflowers with the light and the colors, right? So it's basically the sun setting on a day, but we still have that vibrant yellow symbolizing that there is happiness and joy and self confidence and feeling good about your life and all that's in it. We don't accentuate so much the children in this because there are some cards here that already depict that, and there's enough energy for that. So the judgment card for the masculines pretty harsh with the with the lightning and whatnot, right? Coming from out of the blue. And then the birds are symbolizing kind of like the spiritual connection from above. The above is trying to connect to you spiritually. The judgment can be about judgment, but it's more us realizing we should judge ourselves. And that's kind of an oxymoron. But overlooking our own process in order to change things, right? Um, Getting a shock from above to open up to new things. Okay, on the feminine side, the judgment card is the angel picture here. It's kind of like the angel going, okay, what have we done? How do we assess things? Softer energy again, even though it's in black and white, which is judgment, right? Are we wrong or are we right in what we're doing and how we're going forward? It's still a softer energy than this one. Yeah. So 21, the world, right? Masculine, it's big, it's bold, it's out there. There's no messing around. That's the world, and the sun is peeking out from behind there. Could be the masculine being on top of the world, and this is my view, and I love it, right? This is attaining everything that we want in life, and the dawn of a new day and a great energy. For the feminine, she's holding the world in her hand. So feeling like she has the world at her fingertips. Where the masculine is feeling it from an internal place, the feminine is feeling it externally. So I thought I'd switch that. Okay, now we're going to get into this is going to be a little bit long. We're going to get into the, what do you call that? The elements. So I went with the base elements, which is like earth, air, fire, and water. We'll go through here. Okay, masculine and feminine. Masculine ace of earth, pretty basic. Pentacle, whatnot. Feminine is the plants wrapped around, being grounded. So the two of earth, I had natives with the rings, and he is balanced, even though I thought about putting an imbalance and whatnot. And I thought, I'll just suss it out. I have a lot of balancing out cards, but it's working to keep things afloat, right? And then feminine, she's on a skateboard. I'm going against tradition here. She's on a skateboard trying to keep balance. She's trying to jump over that line and you know, do a trick or whatnot. So she's having she's off balance. So here the masculine's more balanced, the feminine's a little off. So trying to balance things out a little more in life. The masculine earth. 3 of earth is about working together with others. I gave the office as a backdrop. 3 of earth for the feminine, same thing. Office as a backdrop. We're working in and amongst other people, and we're accomplishing goals within all of that. The 4 of earth, greed, money, keeping a close fist with all that we earn. Pretty basic. The feminine, I went romance with it. This is about being greedy in a relationship, having clinging to a relationship. I just went way opposite with that one, because men do have a tendency to focus on money because that's their prime directive, right? And women have a tendency to focus on relationships, so I went with that. On the 5, left out in the cold, you can't put it much better than that. I found this guy. I'm like, oh, that's my 5 of earth. That's the feminine, same thing. I left her out in the cold. She's kind of been rained on, and she's underneath the stairs of something, kind of like the homeless vibe, even though we know she's not homeless. But, this is the deal, is being left out and not feeling too great about it. The 6 of earth, on the masculine side, it's about giving to those less fortunate. On the feminine side, same thing. It's a woman with fingernails giving to a male, right? We had to accentuate that. Here is just, it could be the same sex, could be different. But here it's more of a power trip with the feminine. We may be helping others in a less fortunate position. 7 of earth, that's about, the fruits of your labor. Man here has tended to his garden, and now he has put all the work in, and now he is, gaining the literal fruit. On the 6 for the feminine, is I brought her into the office. She's just happy because she's got all her work done. Her assignments are in, all of the clients are happy, this kind of thing. So we're kind of just lavishing in the moment of having done a good job, right? The 8 of earth, that's about working overtime, putting in overtime. He's got his lunch there, coffee, like everything's all over. He's kind of had it, but he's got to put in more work, so he's just keeping it moving. The feminine, we're doing the same thing, only we bring her home, and she's at home and she's kind of stressed because she doesn't want to be doing work, but she's doing it anyway, putting in the extra hours. That's the 8 earth. 9 is the single life, the single abundant male. That's what I got. And the feminine is a mirror with the same. We just got the fur, different car. I love this idea, this concept, so I just went with it on both sides. Very much materialistic here, but also in the way that we earn our own money. We don't need anybody else to buy us a car, a watch, a fur, or whatever, that kind of thing. So for the 10 of earth, that's your happy family home, right? Your stable life, the 2 kids, the house, the picket fence, the whole bit. That's it. Stability, right? Financial and emotional kind of thing. But here's financial. On the feminine side, I went with the piggy bank. I went with, we're cool with our money. Our money's good, and security. It's still the same idea, but it just depicts less of the family. I just wanted to change it because I didn't want 2 happy families. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just wanted to go with a different vibe. So here is very much, we're stable, and we have a house in the background we paid for. Everything's good. So now we're getting into the court cards. So Page of Earth on the masculine side, I made her a female. I just did that. I was guided to do that, and she's very grounded, she's got feathers in her hair. She really appreciates nature and all that it has to offer. On the feminine side, we went with the masculine, and he is looking at his Visa card and looking at his computer, and he's got a little scooter there and nice shoes and a bag, and he's going to purchase some more things. So this is really on the masculine side. I made the pages all irresponsible with their element. So the earth element is money. So even though this guy looks pretty responsible, he's going to spend a lot more than the average. He's not quite earned his king status where He's built up all the money, so he's just earning a lot of it and spending a lot of it. So the knight is next. And this is, he's off his horse. He's not even riding. He's very sedentary. Sedentary. I don't know if that's the word. He's very in the moment, doesn't move too fast or too quickly, but he does research a lot, and he does question every little aspect of things. And he's going to move forward in whatever way he feels suits him. And then this is the feminized Knight of Earth. He's sensitive eyes, but he's very grounded and very, I don't know, he just screamed Earth to me, this guy. Curly hair, I don't know what it is, but he just seems solid and stable, and his eyes say, yeah, I got it all taken care of. I can deal with this. I can deal with that. So he's a little further past this page here, but nonetheless, steady in his energy. Queen on the masculine side, that was as earthy as I could get with her. She's a very much someone who appreciates the great culture that is around her, no matter what your status and whatnot. She's got flowers in her hair. How much closer to nature can you get than that? On the feminine side, we put her in the bush and camouflaged her. This one stuck out to me as the Queen of Earth. She is youthful, and she's very much blends into her background. And for this side here, she sticks out for her gracefulness and acceptance of all that are different from her. Here, we blend into our surroundings, the same thing, but in the reading, it's going to come out differently. Basically, she blends into her surroundings in a graceful way that she doesn't have to mask her behavior, but she accepts everybody as they are. That's why I picked the camouflage, was because she's really the last of the queens that has learned all the lessons, so she can really adapt to, without wearing a mask, all of the characters that she comes across. So the King of Earth, there he is, man. The cigar. Um, yeah, he's just very secure. He's financially, I mean, he's made it. He's accomplished. He has everything he needs, and the wife as well. So he's just rolling in it, right? Meaning life and security and happiness and contentment to the degree that this one's kind of pompous to me, but not to a degree, it's kind of sexy pompous, not distracting pompous. So the king on the earth side here, he just, I don't know, another one screamed earth to me. He's got these kind of bedroom eyes, whatever. He's a little more sensual, right? I made the kings in the feminine debt a little more, bedroom eyes. These guys are a little more like going with the buddies. This guy's more true to his partner, not true to his partner, but yes, true, loyal, whatnot. He stays home with the wife, and that's another thing. He's the only king that's laying down. It's like he ain't going nowhere. He's solid with his partner, right? He's a king, he's married, and he ain't going nowhere for nothing. And there may be a lot of people attracted to him, but he stays where he's at. Okay, so that is the Earth Holy Llama. Okay, we're gonna keep going here. I don't want to make it an hour, but water. There's the Ace of Water. There's the Ace of Water. So for the masculine and feminine, the masculine here, we have an overflowing of water in a different way. This man is in charge of throwing that cup and the liquid in it outwards. So to me, that's the masculine going outward in emotion. Here, the feminine is receiving, right? Because the masculine gives, the feminine receives. So she's just accepting all those emotions that are coming through. So that's what I did there. On the Two of Water, that's the masculine. That's someone, could be like the symbol of a twin soul, could also be a symbol of someone who we feel very spiritually connected to on a deeper level. On the feminine side, we went into the water and we just made a romantic version of this. Da da da. The Three of Water, but celebrations, right? We're going out, wine, suits, dress shoes. Yeah, it's pretty simple. And then on the on the 3 of water on the feminine, that's basically the energy of fun loving, celebrating with friends that we care about, not long for, but it's people close to our heart, that kind of thing. For water, that's about ignoring. If you can, oh, there's kind of a glare. There's a woman in the background wanting to offer, right? And this man's got a drink and a smoke. He's just not looking at her at all. So that's like ignoring the partner. Just either we're dissatisfied or we don't want to love her, period, or whatever. We're just not dealing with things. On the feminine, I made it a softer energy of kind of being, I don't know. Well, you can see he's distracted, she's distracted. We're not content here. Here's more of an ignoring. Here's more of a I'm not happy and I need to do something about it. 5 of water, disappointment. Pretty fair going here. 2 people with tears in their eyes. Disappointment in black and white, right? White hair, white skin, dark hair, dark skin. Okay. Next card, 6 of water. That's about nostalgia. That's, again, on the masculine side, that fun loving energy. This can be about people from our past that we used to play with in school. I was going to say high school, in grade school, coming back to um, either make us feel like home or bring back some memories, or we're just nostalgic about thinking about people in that way. And then on the feminine side, I have her being nostalgic over flowers. Just got a smile on her face, like, I know somebody sent me these flowers and I'm feeling great and wonderful about that time that I may have had with that person. Okay, the 7 of water is about confusion. This guy's in the office, he's confused. Same thing with the feminine. She's kind of had it, fed up, her mind's going in 100 different directions. Same thing. And that's a mirror card. Okay, the 7, the 8 of water is about taking off. This guy's on a train track with his guitar and he's headed whatever, north. I don't know where he's headed, but away from where he was. And the feminine, same thing. We're just on a beach and footprints leading away from wherever, right? We're going away to well, this isn't the calmer water card, but this is about leaving, period. The 9 of water, that's about making a wish, right? For the masculine, I made it that way. And then for the feminine, I put her in front of a wishing well. She's throwing one of the quarter, penny, whatever, into the fountain. And then you're supposed to not look at it as it goes in there. You make your wish, turn around, and your wish will come true. Da, da, da. 10, happy family. Everybody's happy, joy, joy. Same thing. On the feminine, we just made it more light and fluffy. Okay, so that's the water side here. Okay. Oh yeah, still we got the pages here. Okay, hold on. So the page of water, that's someone being doused in emotions. They may not have a lot of experience in the emotional center, but they're getting doused with the emotions no less. On the feminine side, I made him again irresponsible with his element. A page of water is a drinker and he likes to go out and party and have fun. Oh yeah, he's warm and fluffy, but just don't expect much from this guy because he's still learning the ladder. Okay. um Knight of Cups on the masculine side. He is off his horse. He is 100% trying to gain the affections of another. So this is the knight who's trying to use his heart to gain, you know, I like to purify this card. The next one here, this is the knight on the feminine side. Look at the eyes, right? I'm telling you the truth, I swear. I think I'd believe him too. But anyway, so he's that soft guy again, kind of making him disconnect a little bit because on the feminine side, this could be the one that kind of catches you. I mean, those eyes, you just get drawn in, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, oh, I'm out of the loop, right? So the next card is the Queen of Water. I made her voluptuous and I made her soft and sweet and tender, just like the regulars, right? So she's that princess type, but in a good way. She's not like, she wouldn't be like the fire princess. She'd be like soft and sweet and tender. She's got a lot of good qualities to her. Okay. And the Queen of Water on this side. This is the one is doused. She is completely underwater. Um, she has absolutely doused. Um, you can't really tell, but there's jellyfish in there. So there's danger all around her. Why? Because she's so doused in emotion that we could actually be chaotic and create havoc in and amongst, all the emotion that we've got going on here. So she can be an overly emotional queen, this one. But this one's very balanced. But this one, she doesn't even have her eyes open, so she may be unaware and unevolved. The king on the masculine side, there's the water, there's the drink, and he is looking, looking at his partner. Again, this guy gives an air of holding things back. He's the king that kind of knows stuff, and he's going to make sure that he gets his dues before anybody else. So the king on the feminine side, that he's the guy that goes outward in emotion, right? The glass is a symbol of affection and whatnot. This guy's kind of keeping it close to his vest. This one's willing to go outward, lighting candles, romance, all of that. And he's taken, so he's got it. But here, this could be a divorcing as well. Sorry. But anyway, okay, there's my waters, the end of the waters. Okay. Now we're into the air here. Holy. I didn't think it'd be this long, but yeah, it's this long. Because I wanted to do both of them instead of. So there's our air symbol, right? Masculinized with the, thing on the wrist and just making it all harsh and whatnot. And then the feminine is very soft, again, receiving and going outward, right? And truth, and also acceptance of, this can be very much an acceptance of energy from universe. The two of these are mirror cards. Two of air, unable to make a decision, not wanting to see things clearly, or not able to see things clearly, or don't know. Da, da, da. Three, heartbreak. Oops, wrong side. Heartbreak on the feminine, heartbreak on the masculine. I made it removed, right? Because hers is very close, because women usually feel things a lot deeper. Men, they feel it, but in a different way. They try to remove themselves from their emotions. So I put it on the pavement and I cracked it all up. Okay. The four of air, Snow White. There you go. She's sleeping. She's in rest. This could be in any shape or form. This is really just a null and void. We're not really having any energy behind it. It's just kind of we're here, but we're not invested in anything. The four of air on the masculine side, I have him meditating and chilling out, trying to connect with his inner self. So I thought that was a very different take on what is traditionally there. The five of air, competition, beating all others, right? They're all laying down, and he's like, yeah, eat that, right? So this is kind of like the masculine way. The feminine, same thing. She can be quite harsh. She can step over people in order to gain influence and whatnot. So the five of air, I made her on the feminine side, the same energy, but it's exhibited in different ways. Masculine, feminine, it's very much like that. Six of air. We have the boat leaving the station. So this is traveling away to calmer waters. On the feminine, it's just, again, softer energy and more lucid with all of the calm, right? And I think, too, the masculines, when they think of calm, they think of being on an adventure by themselves or with with their buddies. And some women may feel the same, but here I kind of just feminized that. Okay. Seven of air, the sneaky card, right? Both of these are mirrors. They're both sneaking around when they shouldn't be, where they shouldn't be or whatnot. That's pretty simple. Those are mirrors. This one here, the next one is to the same. Eight of air is self-limiting behavior, right? This guy could clearly walk out of that and kick those away, but he's leaving himself there and just limiting himself to what he knows in that little circle. Now, for the feminine, I have her boxed in. Same thing. We could just get out of there real easy, but there's self-limiting beliefs that keep us boxed into a certain belief system, certain way of life, certain way things are going. Nine of Air, Nightmare card, pretty self-explanatory. Same thing with the woman, only I made his at night and hers in the morning when the day breaks. A little softer energy. Masculine, Ten of Air, yes, right. We have an agreement up front and then somebody just waiting to establish behind the back. Uh, couldn't ask for a better Ten of Swords there. And then the Ten of Air for the female, same thing. Here, we have a business deal here. This could be anyone. This could be your friends. I kind of didn't want to go with the violence, but this was really the only graphic that fit well here. Um, in that kind of a bold form. Page of Air, right? Messenger of news. Yeah, that's simple. Page of Air here. Again, destructive with his element. His element is air. So he's a mystery because he can speak words that create an illusion around him for others. So the Page of Air can sometimes be a liar or someone who may not be an outright liar, but emits things or puts things in order to pump themselves up or whatever. He creates an illusion around him. So you got to be aware of that. Knight of Air. Yeah, he's pretty fast. He's the fastest guy, right? Coming in, trying to stir up stuff. On the feminine side, we made him more look in the eyes, would you? This guy can't get close to nobody, this one. Here he's got his eyes covered altogether, so that could be the same issue here. But this guy here, he's not light and fluffy. He's not someone you would like. If you look in his eye, you're not going to just run up and hug him. He doesn't look like he looks like a typical air. Like it takes a while to get to know you, and even then, I don't know if my eyes are going to soften up and let you in. So that's the Knight of Air. He's kind of just shifty. You don't know whether or not he's your friend or foe. Queen of Swords, same thing. She's soft features, right? She's very feminine, but she's wielding a sword there. Be careful not to cross her because she can come out of that feminine stuff real quick. And on the feminine side, that's the masculine's queen. On the feminine side, we have her with a wreath around her head. She's looking to the sky. She's closing her eyes, trying to get in her head and think about all that she's done and whatnot. So she's very thoughtful of her life and the way she goes forward. And I thought this was a good contrast because here's their eyes are open. She's looking straight ahead. She's coming at you. But in here, she's very much in her head, but once she figures out what she wants and whatnot, and she goes outward, she's basically the same as this one. It's just like two steps before she's figured out what she wants. Now, with the King of Air, Mr. Intellectual, we got the glasses to symbolize the clean cut, the whole bit, right? This guy, again, not light and fluffy. He's very much serious. I mean, logical. I mean, we got no fluff here, but he can be very sensual given the right partner, right? Okay. King of Air on the feminine. Same thing. He's very sharp. His features are very sharp. Same thing. Oh, I didn't even realize his hands were up. But he's on a throne. He's giving some thought, right? He's thinking things over. Again, you don't get a light and fluffy with these guys. So that's my air. That's my air element all the way through. Okay, now we're going to go to the fire. Fire. Mirror cards again. Ace of Fire, the masculine, more intense, the hands are more masculine, the feminine is more receiving. Again, same thing. Two of Fire, again, decisions. We want to go over here, like his whole body wants to go over there, but it's like, and it's sunny over here, but he's going in. So there's this sense here that we could be going in a direction here, hard way Jack, right? Going where we know things are harder this way, but we're going to go there nonetheless because there may be something over here we like better than this. So for the feminine, I made the same, but I made her make up her mind. And there's really, like, you see the abundance of trees there. You see trees, it could be all the way across. I just kind of see her as being more light with her decision. He's heavy with it because I think he knows intuitively he may be making a wrong one, right? Because he's looking at the lightning and going, well, I ain't got my raincoat, but I want to go that way. So whatever. It's just a little subtle difference there. The Three of Fire. Sorry about the noise. That's about masculines looking forward to the future, right? Futurizing things, very electronic, um, and whatnot. Feminine, it's a little more grounded. She is trying to picture her life as she goes forward, right? She's looking into the sunset and going, thinking about how her universe can be. The Four of Fire for the masculine, that's about a happy home, celebrations within the home, feeling at home with all of the family, right? Not only are we in a family, but we are protective of them and very um, solid and whatnot. On the feminine, I have it more romanticized. The Four of Fire, right? They're under a tent. They're going to get married. This kind of thing. It can denote celebrations, big celebrations like weddings and graduations and all this kind of thing. And it also insinuates, the family and whatnot, the important people in your life that get together for those types of things. Five of Fire, right? Arguing, stress. So someone getting in your face. That's the masculine. The feminine, same thing. I just put it into a relationship. There's arguments here, stressed right out and not figuring it. It's not going well. Next, the Six of Fire. That's excitement and victory. We've gained something here. We're really excited about how things are going. Same thing for the feminine. Yes, I've made it. I did something. I'm a success and I'm happy. As I go forward. The Seven of Fire, that's defensive behavior. Hey, back off. Look, hey, I'm a star, but leave me alone, man. Like, this woman's trying to grab it. It's like, hey, back off. Boundaries and limitations. The feminine's a little more depressing, but nonetheless lighten up the mode here with the lights. But yeah, back off. I can't deal. There's a lot more energy behind the masculine to fend this energy off. Here, we're almost fed up, like we can't do it no more, right? Eight of Fire for the masculine. That's about contact, information, texts, emails, communicating with a lot of people, communicating back. Same thing here. Feminine is just a little softer energy. Text messages coming in, love notes, da da da. Wounded warrior. We are fed up, beat up. We've had a lot to go through here, but we're going to continue forward. We may need a medic, but we're going to get healed and move through what we need to move through. On the feminine side, it's the same thing. She's in the forest, in the woods. She's battered and bruised, but she's going to continue forward. She's going to heal up her wounds and continue to go. Masculine, 10 of Fire is the 10 of Wands, which is the burdens upon us. It's kind of tongue in cheek, but nonetheless, yeah, we have heavy burdens upon us that are keeping us down. Same thing with the feminine. We're feeling fed up and we're feeling kind of, what's the word? Weighed down, right? So the page on the, page on the masculine side, again, irresponsible with our elements, right? Yeah, simple as that. This Page of Fire, he's really, you can tell just by the look on his face here, he's really, love is not a priority. He wants to do destruction and whatnot, like he's just all over adventure and not even on the bright side of that, like he could be creating destruction with that fire. And on the feminine side, I made the Page of Fire a runner. He is someone that you got to catch up to. And if you're not a fast paced, this guy's going to move on and you'll be in the dust. So that's the Page of Fire. That's more like, I meant that for relationships, right? Like if you can't keep up, man, this guy's just going to pass you by. Knight of Fire. Yeah, he's fast too, right? Not as fast as the Knight of Air. but he's moving and shaking. He's going after what he wants. On the feminine side, I made him into kind of, what do you call that? There's a name. But anyway, this slick kind, you can just see it in his eyes. Come here, sweet little thing. Let's go do something, and then I'll drop you off on my way home, kind of thing. It's like that. He's just up for anything. He's a great adventure in the romantic sense, right? This is real life. This knight is moving and shaking. Here, he's the romance stealer. He's the cup spiller. He's the guy that just he drinks from all the cups, and then when the cups are done, he's gone. That kind of thing. That's the dude. Okay. The Queen of Fire, that's her in all her glory. She's lush surroundings again, very confident in herself and her worth. Page of Fire here, we brought her into the spiritual realm and brought in some energy for her to play with, because the Queen of Fire, she just does not have any limitations. She tends to get she can get quite destructive with things, but nonetheless depends on the energy she has. On the good side, she really uses her power to gain momentum forward. And on the bad side, she can use her power to put people under. The King of Fire, I made these two a literal match, right? With their royal regal stuff. But anyway, he's an older king here, and he's very much in his worth. I do have a sword here, kind of symbolizing, but there was something about the look of this guy that just screamed to me, I know what I want, and I got what I want, and this is where I'm good here. This just screamed King of Fire to me. And on the feminine side, we have this guy. Now, when I saw this picture, I'm like, this guy looks like he's in like a beauty salon waiting for his girlfriend to get out of there from trying on dresses all day. This is what this may not be the energy that comes in, but this is what hit me when I saw it. And I'm like, that's good. Pink couch, love it. And then I pumped up the pink in the picture because this guy is masculine enough when he's with his woman. He don't care if he have to sit in, pinks, puffy benches. He'll wait for his woman till she's had enough or whatever she wants to do that day. He's going to wait for her, and he'll even hold her bag. He don't worry about, what I mean. He's very secure in his masculinity. Alrighty, and these are two different eras. Like this is modern, and this is kind of way back, right? So that is. Did I go through all of it? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah, I went through all of it. That's my masculine and feminine deck. So those will be used in the upcoming readings that I will be starting to film here, literally like pronto, like right away. I just like looking at this guy, so I'll just put that pair up there. Yeah, so basically, yeah, love, sex, and romance readings will be coming up soon here. Give me a week or so. I'm really behind the 8 ball. I was supposed to get stuff done this week, but it's going to be into next week and the week after. So look for those readings on Rumble, and hopefully you will enjoy. They're going to be long and intense because, again, this is the year of mates coming together. So there's a lot to go over here. So much so I had to make a new deck to depict that. Hopefully you guys have a good week and whatnot. Sorry it was so long, but that is the introduction to the masculine divine infinity decks. And I'll be using them in the upcoming readings, and they will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. So take care, have fun, and be kind. And we will see you soon live on Rumble. And I'll be starting up next week back on TikTok because I've been taking a time out. So take care, have fun, and be kind. And we'll talk to you soon.